Yeah, you guys read that correctly. I am selling the Rolex Milgauss for the second time. What is going on, everyone? It's Mr. A from Got Another Watch Time, and yes, indeed, you have read the title correctly. It is not clickbait. I am really selling the Rolex Milgauss that I own twice for the exact same reasons. I've purchased a watch with the exact same reasons as well, which I'll discuss in a bit. And before getting started, yes, let's definitely do a wrist watch check. I am wearing my Tudor Pelagos 39, which I've now owned for, I would say, about half a year or so. Definitely will be doing a review on this as well, but just focusing on the model in hand, which is the Rolex Milgauss. This is the Z Blue edition, and keep in mind, Rolex Milgauss has been discontinued. But with that being said, who knows? With Rolex, all updates or any models that are supposed to be released is always kept just sealed tight. Maybe it's going to be making a comeback, maybe something similar along the lines of the Air King, where there's just going to be a little bit of a tweak, on the exterior, as well as, more, I guess, updates to the interior movement, or maybe it's just going to get a completely new design. I mean, who knows? It has been discontinued for a couple of months now. Let's talk about the specs of the watch itself first, and then I'll discuss the 3 reasons as to why I am moving away from this. Alright, so let's discuss the specs of the watch itself. This is the 116-400GV. GV standing for glass verde, meaning it's the green glass model. If you look at the previous renditions of the Rolex Milgauss, they have the white dial as well as the black dial versions of the watch itself. Very similar in design, almost identical, with the exception of that missing the green glass that you see here on our Z Blue model. This has the Calibre 3131 inside, meaning you're gonna get about 42 hours of power reserve. In terms of the diameter, this is a 40mm watch, has a lug width of 49mm, followed by the thickness at 13.5mm, so definitely a chunky boy. As you can see on the back here as well, very unique in that there is that extra layer of protection. This is one of the unique models on the Rolex family lineup, in that it has these inscriptions at the back. So as you can see here, you will see the words Milgauss inscribed across, the body of the watch at the back, along with the Rolex crown and also that Rolex Oyster name at the back. This has that ever so famous polished center links, followed by the brushed links on the side, and this has that oyster clasp, which you can just simply pop and open right here. Now, in terms of the anti-magnetic purposes of the watch, this is what it's known for. It gives you that prevention for 1000 Gauss, which oddly is now considered to be on the less or even weaker side, when you compare this to a lot of the modern watches that, showcase their abilities in terms of anti-magnetism. I bought this watch a little over a year ago, again, just to celebrate, my small success in finding a very ideal position for my day-to-day job. Definitely thought that, this will be a watch that will be ideal for my setting. I do work from home. It is a desk job, at best I am a desk diver. But you can tell from the condition of the watch itself, this is in such an excellent condition. And yeah, I've definitely not worn this, as much as I should have. Now, in terms of the wrist shot for the watch, we should definitely take a look. A very unique watch that this is a sports model, a steel sports model from Rolex, that can be accounted for as being a dress watch, I guess. Also a tool watch, if you were to call it that. But yeah, the sunburst dial is just absolutely gorgeous. Oh, and of course, not forgetting the Lume shot of the watch. And there you have it. The Chromalight in its pure essence. A very, very functional, a very beautiful watch. I do wish that, the Lume was stronger. and then there were, I guess, like more lume plots just all across the watch itself. I mean, this orange second hand would have been the perfect place for this to get that lume treatment as well. But yeah, nonetheless, lume is definitely available on the watch. Very striking, very beautiful, of course. So as I mentioned, you know, I have owned the Rolex Milgauss a couple of years ago, 4 years ago to be exact, with the black dial. I bought this, or I should say I bought the watch at the time for two specific reasons. And the first one is this striking orange hand, you know, the Thunderbolt hand. I like, you know, watches that have a very unique feature on them. You won't see anything like this, you know, on the lineup or the current as well as the past catalog from Rolex. Even if you look at the very first editions of the Milgauss, you know, the watch itself stood out from its siblings. And again, that was one of the draw factors for me in deciding, you know, in helping me decide, purchase the watch. And the second point was definitely this beautiful green glass. No other watches here that has this exact same glass, nothing. I mean, you know, if we're looking at the past as well as the current models from the Rolex lineup. And yeah, it definitely drew me, you know, into this watch. Definitely had that uniqueness, that pop, so to say. I've always wanted to try out that Z blue, you know, the sunburst dial. And yeah, I decided to take the plunge. Now, knowing that I've had the black dial version, I knew what to expect in terms of the design as well as the weight, the heft, the wearability of the watch itself. And I felt like, you know, it would be just a perfect daily wear, which unfortunately for me, I've realized once again that is not the case, at least just, you know, in my personal opinion. So our watch here in hand, again, the Z blue, you know, which is a beautiful watch. And it's odd for me to really call this a beautiful watch, knowing that I am indeed going to be moving away from it. But like I said, who knows, maybe third time is the charm. I mean, this is crazy, but I'm already like having my eyes on that the previous renditions of the Milgauss, the one with the wide tile. And then those are orange, hence the orange lume marks. I mean, oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this, but you know, us, you know, the members in this wonderful hobby, we're just crazy like that. But yeah, let's talk about the first reason as to why I've decided to move away, you know, from the Rolex Milgauss. And the first reason is the size. Like I mentioned, this is a 40mm watch, but keep in mind, even though it is 40 millimeters, the depth of the watch, you know, because of the thickness in hand, especially because of the added Faraday cage at the back of the watch itself, gives it this like additional thickness, you know, and definitely has the presence when you put it on the wrist. And even though, like I mentioned, this is a 40mm watch, it definitely does, you know, tricks to the eyes, I guess. Now, some people might love that. Me personally, now that I've owned this for close to about a year or so, sad for me to say, but I don't really wear this as much as I should. And knowing how limited of a collection I am trying to stick to now, if I have a watch that I'm like not reaching for too much, definitely I do feel like, you know, it is time for me to pass this on to someone who's gonna enjoy this more than I do. Then reason number two, is definitely the identity of the watch itself. And what I mean by that is, you know, I can't tell if this is a dress watch or if this is a tool watch. And it is a great watch, don't get me wrong, beautiful watch, but with me knowing that I've been selective with the watches that I have, I really want all the watches that I possess to have a very specific function, whether it is a dress watch, you know, meaning it is supposed to serve the purpose of me wearing the watch to be in a more formal setting, you know, compared to, you know, for instance, my Explorer 2, where it's a true tool watch, you know, meant for like anywhere, anything in terms of activities, the ocean, you know, rock climbing, even though I don't really do that, you know, just like going into like, you know, cave visits, which is something I really do enjoy doing. The Rolex Milgauss, just in my personal opinion for me, you know, I found that it is difficult for me to really put a label on this. And, you know, at the end of the day, a watch is supposed to be a time-telling tool. But again, to each his own. And I realized that, you know, because of these specific reasons, I'm starting to, again, reach for this less and less in my watch box. And last but not least, reason number three for me moving away from the Rolex Milgauss, I am not a fan of this very polished case as well as the bracelet. Now I know with Rolex, you know, this is a signature of theirs, you know, when it comes to the bracelets, the oyster bracelet specifically, it gives it that very particular look. I actually don't like to wear this on the bracelet that much. I realize like I take this off, you know, just keep it in the watch pouch, and you know, I try to pair this more with, you know, the different variety of straps that I have, starting from the NATO strap versions, the mesh strap, and of course the leather straps as well. And when you get a Rolex, you know, you're supposed to enjoy the watch in its own entirety. At least that's how I look at it, knowing that this watch has a very distinctive, unique look to it. And for me to really move away from that, you know, because I do not like, or I should say I'm not very keen on the general, I guess, like layout, the look of the watch itself, that really tells me that, you know, I am not enjoying the watch fully to its full potential, meaning that, you know, definitely it is time for me to really move on from the watch again. And again, like I've mentioned before, these are exactly the same reasons as to why I've moved away from the Rolex Milgauss that I've owned from before as well. So thanks for joining me today on the video. Thank you for sticking around. If you enjoy these videos, please do give that thumbs up, subscribe to the video, hit that like button, and then click on the bell icon so you can be reminded each time there is a new upload. All these actions from you guys really motivate me to create content for you. I'll definitely catch you guys on the next one. Thanks. I'll see you soon. Bye.